Hey, what's up guys and welcome back. First of all, if you're new and you would like to support me on the channel, the PayPal will be in the description, so thank you all very much. So welcome back to Animaking 3 and I'm back with part 2 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Awaken Omni Energy, guys. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other What Ifs on the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 3 more channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. I'll be leaving the links down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification and see when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin this now, guys. So, the last part that we left off, we were introduced to Naruto Uzumaki. He was the only one of the siblings that lacked the distinguished 3 whisker marks on his cheek. His brother and sister were known as Menma and Mito Namikaze. Menma bullied Naruto on a constant basis. You see, Menma and Mito lived a rather privileged life because of the both of them contained in the 9 Tails. Minato Namikaze made the village realize that they were the village savior, they were the hero, the young lord, and the future queen. Thus, they were given many names. Hiruzen Sarutobi sacrificed his life to ensure that they would prosper, to ensure that they would live, and they had so much responsibility on their shoulder. And then we had Naruto. Born sickly, but he was able to push through. He lacked the necessary amount of chakra to be a ninja. He would never be a ninja, he would never be anything special. And for that, people looked down upon him. Most of the times they pretended like he didn't even exist. His own parents took majority of their time, 95% to spend with Mito and Menma. And the other 5% was about their own life or their job. So Naruto was left with nothing. He had nothing really in his life, nothing really to look forward to, because when they forgot to wake him up for his own birthday, they were all born on the same night and yet they forgot about him. Naruto, he was angry. He tried to let his father reconsider placing him into the academy for him to train, but Minato shattered his dreams. He told him that, well, it was not possible for him. He had to find a different avenue, he would just not be a ninja. Once, Naruto went to his mother, frustrated after seeing how much work she was putting in with the other 2 with Fuinjutsu. His words caused her to slap him as he was so angry. He cursed at her, he cursed at all of them. He left that day, feeling more broken than ever. Naruto planned to escape. He wanted a better life, knowing that there was nothing here for him. He planned for weeks turned into months, when he finally got the opportunity that he's been looking for. He escaped. He escaped the Hidden Leaf village. 5 days passed by before they even noticed anything, when they found a letter that was left behind from Naruto. Within that note, he clearly told them just how much he despised, how much he hated every single one of them. Menma was able to get his hands on it. As he found himself reading it along with Mito, it seemed to anger him. Mito, on the other hand, seemed rather strange about the whole thing. As Naruto was gone, weeks passed by, but they were no closer in finding Naruto. Kushina was talking to Mikato about this, but Mikoto already told her that. Well, she expected something like that. She tried to make her understand that she has been neglecting Naruto. When she started to focus back, when she started to glimpse back into her past, when she started to truly understand how horrible she was, a rift was created between the two best friends. As Mikoto was angry at her, blaming her for this, despite the fact that she just lost her son, but could you really call him that anymore after everything that has happened? As for Naruto, he found himself chased by a pack of wolves. As his food and clothing got disheveled, Naruto thought this was it for him. However, within that moment, he decided that he had enough. He decided that he wasn't about to let the world take him out like this. Everything has been so unfair to him, this world, everything around him has been just so unjustified, just so unfair. And he was tired of it all. He was going to start to live for himself. No one else but himself. Within that moment, the heavens shook as Naruto awakened something deep. Something powerful, something out of this world. Naruto found himself face to face with a being that was pure light. It spoke to him, it also transferred the knowledge into his mind. Naruto was confused, not quite understanding what said knowledge was, but as it poured into his skull, Naruto knew things: ki, mana, chakra, all sorts of things that he never knew about in the beginning. However, he realized that maybe he wasn't so worthless as they thought. Maybe he was something different. Because this Omni Energy was the superior being to everything. Everything. Years passed after that. The family was nowhere closer to finding Naruto, and given how much time has passed, it could be that he was gone forever. Yes, it could be. Mikoto and Kushina were friends once again. Seeing the state that she was in after the recollection, everything had hit her so much, Mikoto decided to cut her some slack. Menma was pissed. He has been pissed over the years, believing that Naruto was selfish, believing that he was doing this to make them suffer. And with that note, Mito was quiet about the subject. The whole family seemed to be keeping in a lot, even Minato Namikaze. He seemed to be keeping in the most as well. However, Menma found himself on a mission, along with his teammates, Sasuke and Sakura Haruno. They made their way towards the land of Wave, where they came across Zabuza Momochi. Zabuza got bested, so Gato decided to hire someone else, someone that he knew would not fail. The battle happened on the bridge, a grand battle, as they found themselves facing off against the enemy until something phenomenal happened. The bridge was destroyed. The support beams were blasted, and the entire thing came crashing down. Kazuna was saved by Sakura as the others landed on the water. However, as Menma gazed up, he was beyond shock. When he saw who it was, his eyes, he could not believe it. Naruto? So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playset of yourselves to begin this new episode. Kakashi Hatake had raced back toward the side of both of his students who were on the water. Sakura was up above, on the platform where the bridge once was, as she stood on the rocky side, as she had saved Kazuna from falling down. However, the clear destruction of the bridge could be seen. The pieces float in the water like chunks. Menma, on the other hand, was having a hard time, wondering if he was seen correctly. Sasuke Uchiha, who was close by, also saw the individual. When Menma said the name, Kakashi snapped his head towards him. What? Over to the other side, Zabuza and Haku had both landed on top of the water as well, when someone descended down towards them. His feet never truly touched the water as he hovered over it. He opened his palm as a surge of energy formed into an orb. It then shot forward. Both Zabuza and Haku separated. A massive surge as the water exploded upwards. They were shocked by the force. Standing there was none other than Naruto himself, the one that Gato had reached out to. Well, the story there was a long one, but Naruto was only here for one purpose. His lack of interest in Konoha, or the main fact that his brother was right there, showed just how much he has changed. Zabuza wasted no time as he descended upon the individual. Naruto stood there. Having grown a lot, he was now even taller than Menma. His hair was still spiky, his eyes were still the same. He just looked a lot more mature. Well, the last time we saw him he was 7 years old, so it begs the difference that he would have changed in the past couple of years. Zabuza Momochi sped forward, his blade as he swung it. Naruto backpedaled, dodging all of Zabuza's strikes. He's fast, Zabuza thought as Haku leaped over Zabuza's head, using the water and manipulating it, creating multiple water bullets. Fire them towards Naruto immediately. Zabuza then dashed forward, giving him no way to turn as he swung, his blade ready to cleave Naruto in half. However, Naruto fell right into the water, pushing himself down with an incredible amount of speed. He burst upwards. Zabuza spun around as Haku turned. He quickly was yanked back. Zabuza grabbed his arm and threw him back as he swung his blade. However, Zabuza was now shocked as Naruto grabbed the blade with his hand. His hand had turned pitch black. An armor had formed around it. Armor's Hokage. Zabuza tried to yank it back but soon realized that the force that he held the blade with was a lot more stronger than he thought. Just who on earth was this brat, he thought to himself. That is when recollections start to go through his mind. He's been hearing whispers about someone, but that can't be. Given what he's been hearing, he expected to be a full adult, someone with a lot of experience under their belt. There is no way that this is that person that they've been talking about, because if it is, this is bad. Really bad. Naruto released the blade before he fired another key blast. Zabuza put the blade in front of him, only for the blast to send him sailing away. He violently skipped across the water. Haku jumped in the path, using his body as a shield in order to save his master, cancelling out a lot of the force. Zabuza's right arm was messed up from the attack, burned and bleeding. He gripped onto the blade but his hand was shaking. Over to the other side, they were unable to fully see. The distance between them was there. When Menma suddenly started to run forward, but Kakashi gripped his hand, stopping him. "Let go of me. I have to see with my own eyes," Menma said. He knew what he saw. He wanted to make sure that was him. After all these years, that was him. Menma wanted to go over there. However, Kakashi's grip on his hand was like a vice, as he refused to let him go, as he wanted to run into something that was unexpected, something that they weren't prepared for. Destroying this bridge wasn't an easy task. And if that was indeed Naruto, given what has transpired over the years, and that letter, and after this destruction, facing him right now for Menma would not be a good idea. So Kakashi did not hesitate to stop him. Over to the other side. "Listen to me, Haku," Zabuza said, realizing that this was much more bad than they originally believed. He's been hearing rumors, he's been hearing whispers. Given what was seen so far, could this really be this person? But he never expected to be a child. This is no ordinary foe. This is no time to hesitate, he said, knowing that Haku disliked killing opponents. Haku opened his mouth to say something, but when he heard the rupture of the water, he knew that the person had already moved. But he never expected as he turned. Unbelievable. Haku was insanely fast. He never expected someone to best him like this. The fist that slammed into his face, it shattered his mask into pieces. He was sent sailing along the water. Zabuza gripped his blade and swung. The both of them vanished. The remaining members of Team 7 could not keep up. Sakura, Sasuke, Menma, they could not see. They could see the collision as the water clashed, but they could not see the people. Kakashi Hatake was stunned. With his Sharingan, his experts, his strength, he could see it all. He couldn't believe it. It was actually him. He looked more mature, more grown, but it was him. They believed that he was dead, but here he was, alive and kicking. The massive cleaver blade was sent into the air, courtesy of Naruto raw strength. Zabuza blitzed through hand sign. This wasn't your normal water dragon, infusing it with more chakra. Zabuza summoned a true beast, glowing yellow eyes. He was using an extreme amount of power. Kakashi Hatake could see that Naruto was a tremendously dangerous foe because Zabuza was giving it his all. The ferocious beast dashed across the river and raced towards Naruto as it opened its mouth to crash right into him with all the force that it could muster. Naruto's right hand started to tremble. Ki then surrounded his hand and started to make and twist into something. You could hear the growl, the rumble of the beast. Naruto thrust his fist out. Dragon pulse. Fist. Ki enhanced fist. The spiraling force manifested into a beast. A glowing blue beast. Zabuza was shocked as it teared through his water dragon. He tried to move, but the technique was insanely fast. He crossed his arms as he was launched. Ferociously and viciously, Zabuza crashed into the wall. As he was now next to where the formation of the bridge had begun. The attack had launched him all the way over there. The sound had awakened Haku, who had been knocked out cold. He reached upwards and touched his face to realize he was bleeding. He moved as he felt agony. He turned his gaze as he saw something in the wall, smoke coming from it. When he heard the sound of pain, his eyes widened as Zabuza Momochi was pressed in against the wall. From his earlier battle with Kakashi, he was nowhere at his 100%. His hand was badly damaged, but now the technique had far surpassed his defense. His body was bleeding all over. Despite that though, as he collapsed on the water surface, one of his legs going in, he stabilized himself. He was truly a demon as he rose to his feet despite his injuries. Without his blade, he gripped his fist. "Come on," he said. "We're just getting started." The bandage ripped off his mouth as he showed his sharp razor teeth, all of them grinning from ear to ear. "Zabuza-sama, don't," Haku said, afraid for his master's safety. "Stay out of this, Haku." "He's mine," Zabuza said. Perhaps a part of him did not want to see Haku die, as he was faking himself in believing that he had what it takes. Naruto started to walk, and that is when they felt it. But it wasn't just them. Sakura immediately dropped to her knees. Tazuna dropped as well. Menma and Sasuke started to shake. What the hell is this?" Kakashi said, as the Conqueror's Haki spread from Naruto. Zabuza's legs buckled, unable to withstand the amount of pressure. He felt like he was going to black out, as it was solely focused towards him and yet it was affecting the others as well. Zabuza tried to move his body as he was screaming at it to move, when suddenly they felt the strange energy as Naruto stepped. Mana, warping step. He teleported. Zabuza could feel the hand resting on his back. He tried to turn, but that was the mistake that he made. Ki and chakra merging in together. The flame from the chakra element merging with ki. The attack was released like an inferno. Zabuza screamed out in pain as it ripped a hole clear through him, at the same time cauterizing the center around the wound. Zabuza took a step forward, Naruto's hand still outstretched, once again showing that he was indeed a monster. Despite the gaping hole, he looked over towards Haku. It seems like he wanted to say something, but his injuries finally had their toll. His body fell into the water. Naruto looked at the corpse as it fell down. He wasn't at his strongest. Naruto saw that the moment the battle began. He wondered to himself, would there have been a difference if Zabuza was fully healthy? As he started to think about his own strength so far, this man was the strongest opponent that he's faced, and he has used a large amount of his power, keeping up with his speed. Naruto felt an eruption of power to his right. A violent scream ripped from Haku's throat. "I'll kill you," he screamed, summoning all of his chakra. Haku created a massive ice structure so large as he froze a literal section of the water right there, to the point that Kakashi had to grab the two and leap away. A structure with piercing ice. He collapsed down to his knees, almost falling in, barely able to stay afloat. "Zabuza-sama," he said. He was done, having released almost all of his power. His master, the one that he lived for, his everything. Well, at least he could get revenge for him in the end. "I'm coming, Zabuza-sama," he said. No longer seeing a purpose to go on. His only purpose had been sinking to the bottom of the ocean, and he didn't have one up here. Naruto was done. He was dead. That is what he believed. That was until the sculpture started to shake. A violent scream erupted from the depths of the center of this massive ice sphere. The scream got louder and louder and louder until everything exploded. Emerging from the depths of the prison that Haku tried to trap him in, his body was surrounded with a white aura. It was so violent, so powerful. It had released enough power to completely shatter the entire thing. Kakashi Hatake was disheveled, baffled, unable to believe what he was seeing. Sakura and Tazuna were watching in shock. Impossible, Menma said. Sasuke was silent. Haku had been shocked that he even created that, but it took almost all of his power to do so. But for someone to destroy that... Who? No, not who. What is this thing? He thought to himself as Naruto appeared in front of him, 5 fingers outstretched. Naruto released a violent ki blast that ripped him to shreds as the chunks of his remains started to sink. No one could truly understand what the hell was going on. Naruto then looked upwards. Kakashi Hatake immediately understood, blitzing away with incredible speed. It was like he teleported himself. Due to his proximity, Kakashi arrived. As he stepped in front of the client, he grabbed Sakura and pushed her away. "Go. Now," he said. She stepped back immediately, seeing how serious her sensei was. Menma raced towards the top. "Hey!" he shouted, trying to get Naruto's attention. But Naruto's gaze was only focused on one thing. "I'm here to kill you," he said. He did not even look at Kakashi. Tazuna was nervous, he was terrified. "Listen to me," said Kakashi. "The moment I move, run. As fast as you possibly can," he said. Tazuna nodded. Despite not seeing it, Kakashi understood that he understood. "Naruto. Naruto Namikaze. That's you, right?" "Don't call me that," said Naruto. "My name is Naruto. I'm no longer a Namikaze." "Fine, if that is what you want. But before that though," Kakashi could not finish his sentence as Menma slammed a fist in Naruto's face. However, Naruto did not move. His head did tilt to the side. "You bastard! You selfish bastard! Do you have any idea what you did to our parents by running away, you coward?" he said. For the first time in many years, Naruto truly looked at his brother. As their gaze met, Menma then realized that his fists seemed to have done no damage, but it was his eyes. His eyes seemed just so different. Naruto's hand shoot upwards and grabbed his wrist and pulled his arm down. Menma threw his other fist, but Naruto grabbed it. "Let go of me," he said. "Do you have any idea just how much problem you've caused? Just how much trouble you're in? I see you haven't changed. You're still that arrogant, insufferable individual that I knew back then." "What?" said Menma. "Always believing that you're superior because for your entire life you were told that you are, that you have this huge responsibility on your shoulder. However, you're nothing but an arrogant, worthless lowlife who believes he can do whatever he pleases," Naruto said, releasing him. Menma lost his cool. "Showing your face after all these years to say those things out of your mouth. It seems you've forgotten where we stand," Menma said. "It seems you've forgotten how much time I've beaten you down, and nothing has changed because I'll kick your ass and pull you back to the village, where you will be sorted out for all of your stupid, idiotic, selfish ways. I'll give you one right. Yes, you always beat me down in the past. However, this is no longer the past," Naruto said, stepping forward. "You think just because you've..." Menma was quieted as Naruto's fist slammed into his gut with such a force. Kakashi jumped in, swinging at Naruto, forced him to step back. Menma was stunned. His eyes went white as he was struggling to breathe. His entire body seized up from the punch. Kakashi grabbed him as he was about to collapse. The copy ninja raised his hand as he dropped it in Menma's back. Suddenly, his body seemed to finally free up as he took in a deep breath. He coughed and wheezed in agony. He held his stomach as he was feeling nothing but pain. A massive fireball was launched towards Naruto, courtesy of Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto pointed 2 fingers towards it. "Bikurai," he said. A discharge of lightning ripped through the fireball, forcing Sasuke to jump away from where he was as he landed on the side of the rock, as that section of the water was electrified. Menma was in agony. Kakashi moving from the client was all that Naruto needed to see. He blitzed away. The copy ninja spun around, his eyes going wide. Sakura. She needed to do something. She jumped in front of the client, only for Naruto to backhand her as she was sent across the cliff side. Tazuna tried to back away. He tried to run for his life. However, Naruto's right arm was surrounded in armor's Hokage. He dropped it within Tazuna's skull. The man immediately folded in on himself, his legs snapping under the force. His body seemed to twist under its own pressure as he collapsed down to the ground. Kakashi had grabbed Sakura as she was dropping off the cliff, head first into the water, that was still electrified. He jumped back up with her. He wasn't able to make it to the client, as Naruto had bested his speed due to him stepping in to save Menma, believing that Naruto was going to kill him. But in doing so, Kazuna paid the price. Menma, who was standing there, humiliated, angered. An explosion of power erupted from him. "You'll pay for that," he roared out. Red chakra seeping from his core. All of that training, all of that practice. It gave him the edge to handle this amount of the nine-tail strength. Without a tail though, the aura alone cracked the ground. Menma sped towards Naruto and slashed. His hands now showing long nails as he slashed at Naruto, but Naruto without even using his hands, as he was simply weaving and dodging and ducking. He dodged all of them. "Is that it?" said Naruto. "Is that all you have gotten over the past couple of years?" Pathetic. Menma's eyes bulged in rage as he jumped at Naruto, sending every single punch and kick, but his attacks were just that slow. Seeing that he wasn't being able to attack or even hit Naruto, it started to push him over the edge. More and more power he started to yank from the beast. As a tail started to grow, "This is bad," said Kakashi. As he started to reach into his pouch, he pulled out a very special sealing tag. Menma launched himself at Naruto once again, but Naruto caught his arms in ki and grabbed Menma's hand, their hands interlocked into one another. Menma was trying his hardest to overpower Naruto, but the shocking realization came when he saw the look on Naruto's face. Like he wasn't even trying. Pathetic, said Naruto. He lifted Menma as he brought him down. Naruto crashed Menma in the ground behind him with an incredible amount of force, so much so that the entire cliffside that was once attached to the bridge came crashing down. Kakashi Hatake had to stop his pursuit and dodge away from the falling debris. Sasuke was holding on to the unconscious Sakura as Kakashi was trying to intervene, but Menma was dropped so hard the entire cliffside came crashing down. It wasn't done yet though, as Naruto flipped in mid-air. He twists before he dropped both of his legs directly in Menma's stomach. The ground further ruptured as Menma's body was sent, sailing downwards along with the debris. Naruto stood in mid-air, hovering there, showing no sign of falling as his gaze focused on the debris falling down, as Menma's body was caught up inside of it. Kakashi, trying to make his way, trying to reach when they all felt it. Menma's eyes snapped open. Rage took over. Being bested like this, it pushed him. Three tails immediately emerged. He started to lose control. Naruto's gaze focused as he tried to pinpoint exactly where he was. The overwhelming power of the nine tails springing out in a rather erratic way. Suddenly though, Menma shoot upwards. Blinding speed as he did, he delivered a vicious uppercut that snapped Naruto's head to the sky. He wasn't done yet though as he lashed his arms out. The chakra manifestation from his arms gripped Naruto and sent him through the rubble, tearing him across the land, using the chakra arms to pull himself down. Menma delivered the same punishment as he stepped within Naruto's stomach, breaking him through that side of the cliff. He raised his arm and dropped it, the tremors going through the rocks. He dropped it once again, as you could see that he was definitely out of control. His teeth were elongated, his whisker marks thickened, his eyes pulsate with power as the chakra of the nine tails swelled all over him. However, within that moment, it started. You see, over the past few years, Naruto has been working individually on the power sources at his disposal. You had Ki, Mana, Nen, Hokage, and more. All of those were incredibly powerful in their own right. However, when they were all together, they became the unification of it all. They became number one. They became Omni Energy, the source that originated from the beginning, the source that had split through countless fabrics of reality, that spread these different power source and different abilities throughout different nations, different realities, different multiverses, different universes. The source of Omni Energy was a collaboration of all of them coming together. Menma brought his arm down once again, but even he was confused. The ferocious side of him, as the hand was grabbed. Naruto grabbed his other hand and pulled himself up. A white, beautiful white aura surrounded Naruto. He gripped both of Menma's arms before he pulled him down. Naruto's knee made contact with his chin, shattering several of his teeth. If it wasn't for the Nine Tails, this would be bad for him, looking wise. Menma staggered back as Naruto's fists pulsated. You could literally see the veins in his hand as it throbbed. When he hit Menma, the ear itself vibrated. The chakra that surrounded Menma seemed to fizzle out, despite the fact that he was angry, despite the fact that the Fox chakra should be empowering him even more. That one blow knocked him senseless. Naruto broke and shattered the entire place when he leaped, showing the amount of force. The punishment was brutal. When he hit Menma in the back, you could hear the ferocious sound. His screams came out like he was in great distress. Distress like you couldn't even comprehend. Menma lost mobility in his legs as Naruto's fist struck his back. Naruto did not stop there though. He twisted mid-ear, literally bending himself. You could see the generating force. As Menma was falling, Naruto blitzed down below. Menma saw the fist come into his face, but it did not even reach him. It was just the force. Naruto sent him to the side. The force of Naruto blow release. A tremendous amount of energy that sent Menma rocketing to his death, and he would have died if he had made contact with the ground. However, Kakashi Hatake took the full force on as a traumatic force ruptured through his body. He gripped Menma and held himself where he was as he landed, the sensation traveling all over his body. But he remained strong. Menma was out cold, blood seeping down his mouth. He was out like a light. Naruto was pulsating with so much energy as he flew into the sky. Kakashi Hatake started to move. Despite the pain, he started to move as Naruto started to rain down energy blasts over to the side of the village, as the people were still within their misery, still having no hope of boom. Just like that, 5 of them were annihilated. Chaos reigned within the land of Wave as Naruto started to rip the land apart. Kakashi Hatake, holding on to Menma, landed beside Sasuke, who was holding on to Sakura, who was still unconscious. The client was dead. Kakashi looked upwards as he could see Naruto pulsating with more power. However, he suddenly stopped. The copy ninja soon realized why. as a ship, 3 of them arrive, filled with Gato and his men. Realizing the situation, not to mention from stopping Menma had put such a strain on his body, "We have to go," he said. "Now!" Sasuke did not argue one bit. As they got out of there, they failed, and they had to run. Otherwise, one or all of them might die. They immediately ran away, leaving the village in the hands of Gato. "Calm down," Naruto said to himself in mid-ear. "Calm down," he shouted, as he seemed to be talking to himself. The Omni Energy slowly left him, as Naruto descended down. He landed on the broken piece of earth that was still festering above the water surface. He leaped forward and landed on the center ship. "Is it done?" Gato said. "They're both dead, and the Konoha ninjas are gone. Pay me now," said Naruto. As he wasn't in the mood to talk right now, he just wanted his payment and to get the hell out of here. Gato snapped his finger as someone moved forward and handed Naruto a large briefcase. Naruto did not even bother to count it, because Gato was a smart man. As stated before, this wasn't the first time they've met. The rumors has been going around about Naruto, but no one ever saw him because all of his victims, they were all annihilated. Kakashi Hatake overheard what was said though. Naruto took the cash and flew away. Gato smirked. Finally, after so long of waiting, the bridge was gone. All of his problems that he was facing was now in the wind. The land was his, he thought with a big smile on his face. Time skip. Returning back to the village took some time. Kakashi had to ensure that they weren't being followed. Naruto's destructive power was simply too much, and Kakashi was worried that he would use the kids to get to him. Kakashi had no qualms fighting Naruto, but Naruto had shown the lack of remorse to actually kill Menma or anyone that got in his way. One punch it took for him to kill Tazuna. Yes, the man wasn't a ninja, he wasn't physically strong, but still. What kind of monster has Naruto become? Sakura woke up, confused and not quite understanding where were they and what was going on. Menma was showing no sign of waking up though. The copy ninja tried his best to give Menma the medical expertise that he needed, but Kakashi wasn't an expert. When they finally got back to the village, Menma was immediately rushed to the hospital for further checks to ensure that none of this was, well, permanent, because he had not woken up the entire way there. Luckily, the Nine Tails was there to heal most of his major wounds, but they were bad. Extremely so. Minato Namikaze arrived in a flash. Hearing the news, he arrived to see Kakashi there. Kakashi was damaged as well from his fight with Zabuza, getting absolutely no rest, and the simple fact that he caught Menma. That just goes how to show how much force Naruto hit Menma with. To show how much force Menma was actually traveling with. If Menma had made contact with the earth, he would have probably died right there and then. Kakashi took that force into his own body, cancelling most of it out, which severely damaged him, so getting the chance to sit down and taking a lot off his shoulders. Minato wanted updates immediately. Kushina wasn't even aware of this yet. Menma had multiple internal damage. Luckily for the Nine-Tailed Fox, however, his spine was heavily damaged. They were doing their best to ensure that he will walk again. As they got to work, the Nine-Tailed Fox was there to aid them, but the damage was that severe. Yes, it was that badly severe. To the point that even with the beast, the doctors had to truly put in the actual effort to ensure that he would be able to walk again. He had to go into immediate surgery. Minato Namikaze, he was panicking. Seeing his son like that. When Kushina found out about it, he had to be there to calm her down. Mito had not arrived just yet. His mind was worried about her as well. They were having a hard time, and they were unaware who was the one that put Menma in this situation. Seeing that they were busy, watching, looking over their son. Mito arrived back to the village a couple hours after. She made her way. She immediately knew that something was wrong. When she was finally brought in, she found herself in tears, confused, worried. They tried to assure her that Menma was going to be fine. They were the parents here. They had to be strong. They had to be strong for her. They had to be strong for everyone. Hours passed by, and Menma finally got back out of surgery. He was going to be alright. The tears of relief came from all of them. He wouldn't be able to walk for few hours, up to 3 days. But he should regain full mobility. But he was going to need a lot of help. Due to his accelerating healing, it was going to be faster. That is why it was set at a few hours to 3 days. If this was a normal person, well, there was a chance they would never walk again. Or it might take years. But Menma wasn't your normal individual, now was he? Along with the Nine Tails, recovering ability, and his Uzumaki genes. Seeing the state that his only student was left in, Minato had demanded Kakashi get checked up. Turns out that he had some internal bleeding. They were able to help him out as well. But now, it was finally time. Kakashi was hesitating how to truly say this in front of Kushina and Mito. He knew that Minato would not, well, take this news as they would. The both of them were Uzumakis, as she took more after her mother than her father in many different ways, but it was especially her temper. Yes, he knew these two ladies rather well, very well. Not to mention how horrible this was going to sound. He did not even want to tell Minato what truly happened, but he had to. The other two were safe and protected. Sakura, she just had a slight bump on the head. She was back on her feet and okay. The three of them were there, as both mother and sister also demanded to know what happened. He felt it was best to just come clean with all of them. The moment the words left his lips, the entire room was stunned into silence. They were confused. Kushina wondered if she was hearing correctly. What did you just say? She questioned Kakashi on what the hell did he just say. I said, it was Naruto. Time skip. We find Naruto standing on a rather tall cliff. He was without a shirt, rather muscular for his age but nothing too drastic. His whole body was coated in that white aura once again. With each step and each movement Naruto made, the mountain shifts slightly, the vibrations traveling through the entire thing. It wasn't just a normal force that he was releasing. It was the application of the Omni Energy. Naruto was sweating from head to toe, exhausted, as he finally collapsed on his back. He had shifted the mountain. To truly understand that at the age that he was, Naruto was strong, but physical strength was different from energy strength. The power that was coursing through him was something that he could not properly handle. There was a lot of explanation there though. So much. Over the years, the first time Naruto heard that voice, it was also the last. And it was the first time he learned about ki, haki, mana, nen, aura, chi, spiritual energy. He learned so much. However, executing them and learning them were two different things. He learned that each of them could be used individually. Conqueror's haki. He could make lesser people bow down to him. He could knock them unconscious. Armorer's haki. He could strengthen himself, as a black armor would wrap around him, giving him immense strength for physical and defensive attacks. Ki. Amplify him in every single way, and to him, one of the strongest. Ki could also amplify the others. It could amplify haki. It could amplify his spiritual energy. Spiritual energy was also extremely powerful when it came to weaker people, as he could simply knock them unconscious because their mind wouldn't be able to handle it. But it also allowed him to create many different aspects of many different abilities, similarly to what he did to Zabuza. Naruto simply used the fire element within his chakra and then amplified with ki, allowing it to shoot outwards, not just burn but shoot. And he could also twist and turn it into many different ways, amplifying his armor haki with ki along with chakra as well, making the armor turn into flames. He could do so much. However, the pinnacle of all of this, Omni Energy. Omni Energy was the originator. It was number one. The combination of all of these spiritual aspects of these different accumulation of power creating one. However, he hadn't fully learned how to master Omni Energy. The power was severely greater than he expected, and it burnt him out. When he used it for too long, it made him tired. But the more time passed, the more his strength grew. Naruto still had no idea what he was tapped into. The voice that he heard when he awakened these abilities told him that soon enough he will understand. Soon enough he will see all. And the voice told him that they've known each other for a long time. But Naruto could not recall meeting someone like that. As he lay there, knowing that he still had a long way to go. Hate was a strong word. One might say that he despised and hated his family. Perhaps he did hate them, but that was an extremely strong word. He just simply did not care. He wasn't a monster that was out to kill all of them. Frankly, he just did not care about them. Yes, he just did not care about them. Over the years, he's learned one thing. He needs to live for himself, as he realized that was what he was lacking in the past. Constantly worrying about others, constantly seeking others' approval, when he wasn't seeking approval for his own self. And that is what was his downfall constantly. He never truly looked out for his own self, always trying to gain this sense of, fixture from people around him. He had no idea just how badly that was damaging him, as he constantly seek out this desire for people to see him, for people to say yes, he was special. But he never truly understood what that meant for him. He never truly understood how it felt on the inside for him to not realize that he himself never saw himself as someone, as something special. The only thing that he truly focused on was the desire of others. However, he's learned how to break that habit over the years. He's done some things. Some bad things. He's also done some good things as well. He wouldn't classify himself as a monster. He did things that made him seem like a monster, but he did so because he was looking out for himself. And that was bad. To most people it was horrendous. But he stopped caring about others. He stopped looking for others' justification of him. He started to look out for himself. And that is what made him stronger. For the past couple of years, his identity has been a secret. Naruto has gone through great lengths to ensure that no one knew about him until he was ready. In fact, this mission taking it was a hesitation when he heard that Konoha ninjas would be there. However, now he was known to the public by the Hidden Leaf Village. It's about time that he truly started to step up and doing what was necessary for his own well-being. After all, that family that he was once a part of no longer meant anything to him. That is why there was no hesitation when it comes to him killing Menma, because Naruto did not see him as a brother anymore. He did not see that man as a father anymore. He did not see that woman as a mother, or that other one as a sister. They were like strangers. They meant nothing, absolutely nothing to him, because he was looking out for number one now and his own well-being. He was still trying to find his true purpose, trying to truly understand why he was placed on this earth, why he was blessed with this amazing, supernatural power that was clearly a gift from the heavens. And who was that voice that spoke to him? And what is there for him to truly understand? And why? Why did he say that they've met before? Answers he was searching for. Naruto picked up on something. Despite their far distance away from him, he could tell that they were there. His gaze focused down below. He could pinpoint them. Despite being high on a cliff, he could see them with his eyes. But his eyes were not operating as normal human eyes at the moment. His eyes were enhanced by Nen, along with the boost of Ki as well, making his vision far stronger than the Byakugan when he came to seeing in long distances. He saw their clothing. He's seen that clothing before, but he's never fought against these people. But they were indeed looking for him. Naruto sat up. As his body started to repair itself and recover, infusing the ki and chakra inside of him, slowly started to recover his strength that he's lost while training. It took them 15 minutes. They arrived in 7, but it took them the other few minutes to decide how to approach him. One of them stepped out, as the others remained hidden away. "Can I help you?" said Naruto. Before the man spoke, he looked to be in his mid-20s. "I was sent here to bring you with me. Our master wished to speak to you." Naruto got up as he fully turned to face this man. "Your master, huh? Who's that?" Meanwhile, at Konoha, the family was having a hard time, especially when Menma woke up. Menma wasn't a problem, though he was quiet. Severely so, he was quiet. Over the years, the family has tricked themselves in believing that they've come to the same conclusion, but each of them were hiding away the same thoughts that were coursing through their mind when the conversation led to Naruto. All of them believed that they were responsible in a way, which they indeed were, but it wasn't just that. They were not telling what they truly wanted to say, as there was a lot of guilt, lot of sadness underneath their gaze. Menma was complicated, Mito was complicated, Kushina, Minato, they were all complicated. But it seems like Menma hated Naruto, attacking without hesitation. However, as he lay in that hospital bed, Menma could not believe it, as he could not even feel his feet. The sensation was barely there. Perhaps he was over-exaggerating a bit. The doctors told him that he needed to get back on it as soon as possible, but he was humiliated. He was bested like it was nothing. His entire life he was told that he was special. He had a purpose, a reason. However, he was just dropped like it was nothing, by the one that was seen as a failure, by the one that could not even properly use chakra. It hurt him deep within. It broke him inside. There was a reason why Menma disliked Naruto more than the others. There was a reason why this hatred was there. However, he was too stubborn to actually talk about it. It seems to stem from jealousy. As for Mito, tears of sadness knowing that Menma almost died and knowing that she was responsible because of the way she was in the past. Knowing that there were times where she shook her head, erasing those thoughts. She didn't want to think about that right now. Kushina, she was alone, sitting within a meadow. It was right next to her home. Beautiful garden there. Kushina was the most twisted on the inside because her son just tried to kill her other son. And it was her fault. Mikoto was right. As much as she tried to tell herself that, she only focused on them because she knew the burden of being a Jinchuriki. She abandoned Naruto, she neglected him, and now she lost him, and now he wouldn't even hesitate to kill his own brother. And she blamed herself. The guilt, it was overwhelming. Minato Namikaze was in the office, along with Kakashi Hatake. Jiraiya had returned back to the village. The Sannin was told by Kakashi what Zabuza had said before his demise. Jiraiya had several files on several important people that were all killed in the spam of a few years ago. There has been whispers about someone, a new player in the game, someone that was so mysterious, no one truly knew who it was. And now, could this really be Naruto? His strength was strong enough to take on an A-rank missing nin, like Zabuza, and best him rather quickly. But it wasn't just that, the destructive power that he possessed. The fact that he punched Azuna only once and ended his life. This was bad. Minato was not truly expressing how he felt about the subject. However, now that they knew that Naruto was alive, it's time that they bring him back home. He had no idea what he would do or what he would even say, but first thing first, get Naruto back home. And that is how Minato saw it right now. And that was the only thing on his mind right now. Get Naruto back home. However, he's going to soon realize how much of a horrendous idea that truly was. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm hoping to see you guys soon. Peace, guys.